Hey, my friends, welcome back to Staying Strong for Marriages, a YouTube channel dedicated to helping people go through marital separation or divorce. One of the big things we look for is to try to help people recover, because it's awful, but then also have hope, grab up their faith, and see if there's any hope, any salvation, any deliverance for their family, given the current trial that you might be going through. I have people call me quite frequently that are in these situations, and it's rough. It's also a situation I happen to be into. And so one thing I want to share with you is this tool, this divorce recovery tool called Divorce Care. So you can find them at divorcecare.org, and one thing they do is basically weekly meetings for people going through any kind of marital disruptions. Often hosted at churches, and if you want to find a local one, you can go to their website, just put in your city, state, or your postal code, and you can find a group. So I'm going to just pick one, let's say, I don't know, Cleveland. Oh, look at that, Cleveland, Ohio. And so you can see there's all the different churches, all the different times, and it's pretty amazing. Upcoming groups, so great, right? So that's nice. The other thing is we're coming right into the holiday season. Right now it's December 1st, so welcome to December. And one thing they do is surviving the holidays. It's a great tool because, the holidays can be especially brutal. One other thing before I jump into the content of the course is the free daily email encouragement. It's always divorce related, and it's always Christian in its focus. There'll be scriptures, and I think you will really enjoy it. So let's look a little bit more at the details and the inner workings of the course. I'm going to start by the seminar topics. There's 13 different topics. I'll hit them briefly, and then we'll look a quick second about the experts, some of the ways that the course works. So initially you're going to find a location, you're going to show up at a church. They do these with 13 weeks, they're going to do about 3 a year. They're going to take some time off in betweens, and of course there's always holidays and stuff like that. So the seminar topics, what's happening to me, just an introduction of why do you feel the way you do, why are you freaking out, why are you panicked, why are you afraid. Maybe it's because you don't know anything about lawyers, or you didn't see this coming out of the blue, or you're totally shocked at the decision to leave or the infidelity or whatever. The second one, the road to healing and finding help. So it just talks about the many losses that we really realize. Initially we think, well, we're just losing a person, or we're just losing a relationship, but it could be many other things. Outside relationships, time with children, money, finances, peace of mind. And you can see a big part of what they do is dealing with the emotions. So facing my anger, facing my depression, facing my loneliness. And one of the things they just talk about is normal people under normal situations, there's an equal allocation of energy to mental activities, physical activities, and emotional activities. But when you go through the divorce, when your family blows up, about everything gets gobbled up by your emotions. You don't have very much energy to work out, to eat, your sleep is disrupted, and it's really crazy. So some of this is just helpful, especially if you're in a separation and you just think, man, I don't know what is going on, I don't know how to handle this. Well, please think about going to this class instead of, hitting the bottle, jumping on Tinder, finding the next person, continuing in an unhealthy relationship, shopping like crazy, traveling like crazy, blowing a bunch of money. This is a good way, and you don't have to do it by yourself. What does the owner's manual say? It's just talking about what does the scriptures have to share with us that are helpful. New relationships, should you date, should you go out and find someone new? If you decide you want to do that, how long do you need to kind of take off before you jump into the next relationship? Should you decide to do that? Financial survival, all the extra costs, the court costs. Kids care, how do you help your kids with their emotions, almost all parents feel really guilty that they, weren't able to provide their kids with better. And so how do you, think about that? They have some great things. Single sexuality, if you're a believer and you know that God has certain restrictions, and they're not really restrictions, they're ways to protect us from getting hurt further through sexual relationships that aren't going to last, that people don't trust us or they don't care about us, maybe they're just using us or whatever. So single sexuality, forgiveness, reconciliation. Reconciliation is different than restoration, right? They talk about both. One, you just want to have peace with the person that you were in a relationship with. If you're going to go through the courts, you don't want to have some awful, long, drawn out, 6-7 year court case kind of thing. And if you're raising kids with them, you want to be able to co-parent. Finally, 10, moving on, growing closer to God. Really, the big point of the whole course is really helping people grow and become stronger as believers. But it's also, just recovering from the trauma. Quickly, let's look at some of the seminar experts. I'm not going to be able to hit all these, but you can see that there's a lot of people that are involved in this. There's one couple here that they survived infidelity. There's different speakers. All these people have lived through divorce almost. Dr. Tony Evans, very famous gentleman there. Just a lot of different people. So like I said, you can't go into all of them. There was one person on here. I mean, it's really interesting. So I should say the course has, each week you show up, you get maybe a snack or something to drink, you say hello, and then most of the course is just watching these videos. So it's very passive. You don't have to say a lot. You don't have to share about your situation or very much if you don't want to. People will pray for you, but it's on a, as you like agreement. You can share as much or as little as you like. There's also a workbook that you're given, and I think there's like a small donation, maybe $20, that's requested if you'd like to give that donation in order to cover the cost. But basically it should be very low cost to you. In fact, you'll probably end up drinking more coffee and eating more snacks than you'll probably end up paying for this. So yeah, a lot of great people that have a lot of great insights. So one thing I like about this is it says you don't have to go through it alone. That's the great thing about going to this group. And I actually went to it through maybe 3 cycles, for sure 2. And a lot of the people that were in it with me are, one of the leaders, he still prays with me to this day for the restoration of our marriage. I have some great friends that I still keep in touch with, guys my age, and then some of the older ones. Anyway, we all kind of did it together. We had different stories and different scenarios, but we all kind of survived together, and it was a really cool group. And people came and kind of went, but it was really interesting. A lot of what you realize is no matter what the details are of your divorce or whatever's going on specifically, that the pain is about the same for everybody. Whether you initiate the divorce or whether it's done to you, it's just awful. It's just awful for everybody, straight up. So that's one thing to think about. You can lean on others and grieve and just go through it together. So I don't have my workbook anymore. I moved, and I thought I still had it, but I don't. So you'll just have to take my word for it that it's a really great course. I loved it, and I would really like to recommend it to everyone out there. My heart goes out to you. My prayers are for you guys. I'm really excited about seeing people overcome the trials and learning how to pray, stand up against the enemy, and see victory for the people of God. The world is in desperate need of hope for marriages working because people are not getting married anymore, you guys. And so I think one of the things I just said to one of my good friends is this course will help you figure out what you think, and no matter what happens with the restoration of your relationship or the healing process, it's always amazing to be able to live according to your values. I think if you can do that, then the outcome really doesn't matter as much. If you can walk with God and say, God, I'm committed to forgiving this person, I'm committed to be the best father or mother that I can be. I'm going to try to represent Christ and be healthy in my recovery process. Then I think no matter what happens, let the chips fall where they may, Maybe you want to work things out, maybe you don't. But whatever that means, just do everything to a great and high level and try to help other people along the way, and you guys will definitely make it. I really believe that. Thanks so much. We'll talk to you next time. Hey, my friends, as always, please share these resources with your friends who are facing a separation or divorce. They're really hurting, and I'm sure that they would appreciate it. Thanks so much for all your support. We'll talk to you soon.